Okay, good afternoon everybody. Now it's time for a big end of September DVD and Blu-ray update. I got quite a bunch of DVDs that I got throughout this month of September. I also got a Blu-ray from my recent shopping trip. But we'll start with the DVDs. I'll start with much of the television ones first. Did also get a movie. And this first one I got at the Walmart in Plastown, New Hampshire a couple weeks ago. I bet you all love this cartoon. Yep, this is Rugrats, the complete series that ran from 1991 until 2004. Featuring great voice talents, including E.G. Daly as voicing Tommy, E. Pickles, the late Christine Cavanaugh, and later Nancy Cartwright voicing Chucky, Cheryl Chase voicing Angelica, Cap Susie voicing both Phil and Lil DeMille, and Cree Summer voicing Susie. Can't remember who did Dill, and I can't remember who voiced Kimmy. But for some of the parents, these also included voice actors Michael Bell, voicing a few characters. I think he voiced Drew Pickles. Can't remember who voiced Chaz. Also having Melanie Chartoff voice Dee Dee, and the late great Jack Riley voicing Stu, along with the late David Doyle, and later the late Joe Lasky, both being voices of Grandpa Lou Pickles. Rugrats was another of my favorite Nickelodeon cartoons growing up. And I'll show you this. There's the box. Special features. Also mentions All Growed Up. That's the spin-off that it started out as an episode of this show. That also had Adrienne France playing Emeka in that, voicing Emeka. Here are all the discs. There's so many, I'm not going to show them all. It would just take a while, but Rugrats, always still a classic series, and that used to be quite a big winner for favorite cartoon at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, and that is until SpongeBob SquarePants came along. But anyway, Rugrats, still always... He's a fan favorite of classic Nicktoons from the 90s, along with Hey Arnold, Doug, Cat Dog, The Angry Beavers, Real Monsters, and by the way, one Rugrats episode does have a crossover with the characters from Real Monsters. So, if you like the Rugrats, you'll definitely be living your childhood all over again. Especially if you've been a long-time E.G. Daly fan for years like I have. Okay. This next one complete series is not a cartoon, but it's a fan favorite, and it's still shown in reruns on both Nick at Night and I think several other stations. I think TBS may have shown reruns of it, and other syndicated stations. My mother loved watching episodes of this show, too. It's the classic Emmy-winning series, Everybody Loves Raymond, the complete series. Now, just to let you know, I do also currently have the complete 8th season of the show, which I ordered that from Amazon. But I'm not going to show that in this video, because I'm going to give that away to somebody else. This I got at the Walmart Supercenter in Salem a couple days ago. Has a great cast, including starring Ray Romano, Patricia Heaton, Brad Garrett, the late Doris Roberts, and the late Peter Boyle. Playing all the Barones. Also had the Sweetens, Sullivan, Madeline, and of course the late Sawyer Sweeten. Later episodes would also have Monica Horan playing Robert Barone's wife, Amy McDougall Barone. And for episodes that featured the McDougalls, these included Chris Elliott as Amy's brother Peter, the late George Engel as Pat McDougall, Amy's mother, and the late Fred Willard as Henry, a.k.a. Hank McDougall, Amy's father. But Everybody Loves Raymond, quite a big one, and I say Emmy-winning because of the awards it won. Brad Garrett did win a few times in the supporting acting. And Patricia Heaton probably won at least a few times. I know Ray Romano did win at least once. Once. And this series did win the Outstanding Comedy Series he's at least a few times as well. Oh, it was all up against other big ones back then in the late 90s, including Third Rock from the Sun and Frasier. Excuse me. Anyway, I'll show you these discs. Here's this one with seasons 1 through 5. Yep, there are all the discs in there. Can't show them all. There, again, too many to show. And here's disc 2, season 6 through 9, because the show ran from on CBS from September 1996 until May 2005. 9 seasons that are still worth seeing. See here, you see that? Oh, sorry about that. I wasn't expecting. Yeah, there's the discs. And by the way, as for the 6th season that was originally supposed to premiere on September 17th, 2001, but was pushed back a week due to the news coverage of the 9/11 terror attacks. So that was quite a season where Raymond's career gets delayed by Dan Rather. And other reporters from CBS News at that time. But anyway, everybody loves Raymond. Still always fantastic. Of course, shortly after the series ended, one year after it ended, Peter Boyle would pass away. But his role of Frank Barone never forgotten, and even he says the catchphrase when he repeatedly says, "Holy crap!" Like that. So, if you love Ray Romano and everybody loves Raymond, this series is for you. Now we go back to the cartoons with this next one. This next one is the Woody Woodpecker and Friends Classic Cartoon Collection, Volume 2. I ordered this one off of Amazon. Woody Woodpecker is another great classic cartoon character, made by Walter Lantz. And you see this, that, and the laughing. Remember his signature laugh. It also has other cartoons, including Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and a few others. Here are all the... Here's what they're free discs and all. Here is all free. Here's disc 1, which features Woody's girl. Disc 2, which has Woody. And disc 3 also having Woody. So, and these are all... They give all the listings of the shorts in there. So, if you love good old classic cartoons, Woody Woodpecker is definitely a must. And I'll do that one more time. Okay. Moving on. Still doing television. We only got 3 more TV-related DVDs. These to show, and then I'll get to the movies. Next up, the next 3 I bought at Bull Moose Music in Salem. Next up, we have the complete 5th season of New Girl. Now, this was the only season where Zooey Deschanel did miss some time because she was pregnant at that time, and once she had her baby, she ended up being absent for 6 episodes because of her maternity leave. For the plot, they made the episode where she temporarily departed by having her be on jury duty and be sequestered for a trial. After the 6 months, she returned, but thankfully it was during that time that Megan Fox then joined the show just to fill a void. I temporarily stopped watching the show after Zoe went on maternity leave because I figured I wasn't going to continue the series until Zoe returned. Because New Girl isn't New Girl without Zoe's character Jess. That's what makes it big. Here's the spine and the back. Here are all the discs. Disc 1, Disc 2, and Disc 3. This also premiered mid-season as well, just because of that. It's one of 2 New Girl seasons to premiere mid-season rather than at the beginning. The 7th season was the other, since the 7th was the final season of the show. Still don't have season 6 and 7 as of yet. But if you like this season, this is good. And next up, now I never really watched this show, but I figured this. Okay, now I never really watched this show, but it was quite popular, and that did win a Golden Globe for its star. Because next up we have the complete first season of Ugly Betty, the Betty-fied edition, starring America Ferrera. Now, this show ran for 4 seasons overall from 2006 to 2010. But after it ended, America wasn't done yet because she did have a voice of Astrid in the How to Train Your Dragon film series, and as well as continuing the television side with NBC's Superstore. Anyway, I'll show you the spine and the back, all the features. Also on the starring on the show was legendary actress and singer Vanessa Williams. And I'll show you this. Here's all the guides. Here are all 6 discs of the show, of the season, really. Let me do this off. Okay, there you go. And it also reads, the best new show of the year as stated by the Washington Post. Host, law reporters, if it was Washington Post's, even though this was entertainment, I'd be surprised if Wait Wait panelist Roxanne Roberts had anything to say about that series, given her role in the reliable source column. But anyway, if you like America Ferrera, this is probably a good show to get you with. And now, next up's another good one. Next up we've got Mystery Science Theater 3000, The Brain That Wouldn't Die. AKA Mike Nelson's first episode as host of the show. As this episode originally aired on Comedy Central back in late October 1993. All it was his first as host, it was his second overall as himself because he first appeared in Deep 13 in the previous episode, Mitchell, which was the one which was Joel's last episode as host. But The Brain That Wouldn't Die is quite fun, especially that invention exchange before the film when Dr. Forrester's Dream Buster, but more of all, one of my favorites for Mike, when he had the umbrella with the spout leading down, which was also known as the Got a bumper shoot! Hey, got a bumper shoot! Got a bumper shoot! Got a bumper shoot! Also has Mary Jo Field playing Jan in the Pan at the end of the episode. In terms of when she appears on the Satellite of Love. Here's the spine. And the back also includes the uncut version that, without the riffing. Anyway, these are the chapter breaks for the uncut version, and the same guide for the episode. It's a 2-sided disc. This side has the uncut version, and the other side has the MST3K version. Well, when I do have a chance to watch this episode, I'll watch the MST3K version, so I can see that invention exchange and some other segments, including some hats and all that. So, Brain That Wouldn't Die, that will still always be a classic. Indeed for MST3K fans. Alright. So, now we're going to move on to the movies. And now this next one I got at Target here in Haverhill earlier. These are both Target purchases. Next up, we got the classic The Goonies from 1985, which stars Sean Astin and also has Corey Feldman and a few other people. Now, Corey Feldman was also best remembered for being longtime friends with the late actor Corey Haim as well. Of course, Haim's not in this film, but I figured that doesn't need to mention. Goonies is still classic. Here's the spine and the back. A deliciously dizzy adventure with crowd-pleasing fun is stated by Kathleen Carroll of the New York Daily News. It's got great special features and from commentary from director Richard Donner and cast members, outtakes, making of, and the music video for Cyndi Lauper's big hit song from the movie, The Goonies Are Good Enough. And here's the actual cover art if you bought this without a case. Same here. And it's on a standard disc, but with the Goonies font on it. Overall, Goonies is still a great classic 80s movie since this came out in 1985. And so, if you like films about the criminals, the Fratellis and all that, The Goonies is definitely a great one since they try to stop them. And speaking of supervillains, our final film, the final item I have to show in this update, and it's the only Blu-ray I have, this came out earlier this month, we got Minions: The Rise of Gru. This is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. Kevin, Stewart, and Bob are back along with the new Minion Otto. And of course, Steve Carell does reprise his Gru character, although Gru is a much younger version of himself in this one, but it's still the same voice actor anyway. Because Gru just isn't Gru without him. Here's the spine and the back. It's got over 60 minutes of bonus content. No critic review, but see, here's the guide. It's on a yellow. There's the yellow disc with for the DVD. Quite the relevant color for them to manufacture it, since the Minions are yellow-colored creatures. And of course, the Blu-ray, right, with yellow font. Quite great. Now this was a great. Now Minions: The Rise of Gru. This is a great sequel to Minions. I know I still haven't watched it yet, and this definitely was quite a good movie that was worth a couple years waiting for. This was supposed to come out in theaters in July, back in the summer of 2020, but production was delayed due to COVID. And it caused the Illumination Studios in France to even temporarily shut down. But so they couldn't. I guess they could. So they couldn't possibly do any animation work remotely at first. But eventually, they were able to resume production. They did first have a re-release. He stated summer 2021, but then they delayed it one more year, and it finally came out in theaters in July of 2022. So that definitely was what I'd say the best delayed movie some animated fans were looking forward to seeing. So I have a feeling that the movie making industry is slowly but surely going to be recovering now that more people have gotten vaccinated and have started to go back to the movies again. And so, if you like the yellow-colored creature, those young Minions and Gru, I recommend you buy this movie. It's gonna be so much fun for you to watch. Eyo! Toque de boca! Banana! Eyo! So, there you go. And that's gonna do it for this update. I know this video was almost reaching 20 minutes, because there was a lot to cover. There still is one more item I'm going to show, but that's not a DVD or Blu-ray. That will be it's going to be a Wii game, and I will do a separate video for that. So, and that video will be coming up next, as a matter of fact. So, stick around for that. I'll see you then.